don't wait. Don't procrastinate.
Yeah.
I was a big procrastinator in school.
Take action fast.
Yeah, it's a big and.
All right, guys. Hey, what's up? Got a special guest here today, world champion, martial artist, superstar athlete, Mr. Alex. Thanks for joining us today, man.
No, thank you for having me, man. I'm so excited to be here.
Now, we just crushed a workout this morning.
Oh, yeah,
now,
I'm feeling it.
Yeah, you are?
I'm feeling it, yeah.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, the weight floor, awesome. Going into the cardio stuff, though, that almost, like, freaking killed me.
No, yeah, I knew, the weight floor would be challenging, but I think it was just a setup.
Yeah.
For more torture later on with the trail and the rowers. But
now, you were like a beast on the rower, though. You were, like, just crushing that out.
It's a love-hate relationship on that rower. Like,
really?
I love it just because, it's low impact on your joints, and I can. That's one secret to me being very explosive.
Okay.
As you've seen me compete in the ring, or just in general when I'm working out. But it's also like sometimes when you do longer distances, it's tougher. But for those 100 meters, I know I can knock them out. So I was just having fun with it.
Like, I'm over there trying to compete against you and Jackson. You guys are both like crushing me over there, but I'm like trying to like crank it out as fast as I know.
You killed it. You killed it too, man.
And then obviously, like, my wife's the coach, so she's like bullying me the whole time. Like,
so she was bullying you. I was bullying him.
Yeah,
I was bullying
That's
Jackson.
how it works. That's how it works. We just bully each other. That's how we show love. Mm-hmm. So you're a martial artist. You got involved with that when you were 3 years old. You're 21 now.
Yeah,
like,
wild,
man,
wild.
So many stories, so many lessons, obviously, throughout that. But give us a little background on just getting started. And obviously, your family. You come from a family of martial artists. So kind of talk about what those beginning years looked like a little bit for you.
No, 100%. Yeah, and so I started martial arts when I was 3 years old.
Okay.
I wasn't the greatest listener, so we waited a couple more months. So it was about 4 years old, and my mom was my instructor. She's a 5th degree black belt.
What's that dynamic like, having your mom as your instructor?
She just wanted the best for me. It's like I always knew, yes, she's mom, but at the same time, she also knew when she had to just be the instructor. Like she had to have that separation, because sometimes moms can be moms or parents can be parents. But she was a really, really great, phenomenal instructor, and beyond she's just beyond a super mom. So, but it's very interesting because she also knows how to push my buttons very well. So as I got older, definitely training became a little more, I don't want to say interesting, but she never forced me to train. That's one thing that's I guess I'll say about myself. I hear a lot of stories sometimes about, that parents force their kids to train. Yeah. And that was never me.
That was never the case with you.
My mom would force me to leave. It was the opposite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because she owns a business. She owns a martial arts school down in Brownsville, and we'd close up, or the last class would be done. I'd stay training for another half an hour to an hour, and she'd be like, all right, I'm be in the car, or she'd be cleaning or something, and she'd be like, Alex, it's time to go. I got to go work in the morning.
Now, how old were you when that habit started, where you would just want to stay after and just start doing that on your own?
I would probably say once I hit about 10, 11 years old.
Okay.
But I think it wasn't really an age thing for me. It was once I experienced different tournaments. And different levels of competition.
That's what I was going to say. Is like, what was that inspiration for you that's like, man, I need to train harder now?
I'll say like I said previously, it was just, I think, the tournaments, seeing the different level of competition. I wanted to be better. I wanted to be able to do that trick. I wanted to be able to beat the fighter I lost to. And then when I went to the U.S. Open for the first time, I believe I was 9 years old as an underbelt.
Okay.
I was a brown belt. I won that year, my first year U.S. Open, and I saw Team Paul Mitchell.
Okay.
And
that's the team you're currently on now.
That's the currently team.
That's pretty sick.
I know, that's insane.
Goes full circle there. That's pretty awesome.
But so then I think the year after I went back, and Team Paul Mitchell every year at the U.S. Open does something called the Team Paul Mitchell Experience.
Yep.
Now it's called the JPM Legacy Seminar.
Okay.
And I took it, and I was with Justin Ortiz, and I did it with the European fighters Laszlo and Zolt, and then I also saw Coach Chris and Tyler, and I took the JPM Experience as a competitor participant, and then that also motivated me to be like, I want to be on this team. I
want to be like those guys.
Exactly. And I made it. I know it's one thing that I've heard around here at Rise is accountability.
Yes.
You got to hold yourself accountable, right? Whether it's your goals, your numbers, your whatever it is you want to do. And I literally told the coach, Coach Chris, the executive director of the team, I told him when I was 12 years old, I believe, at Battle, I said, I'm I want to be on your team. Like, I'm going to be on it. And sure enough.
How old were you again when you said that?
I think 12 or 13 years old, I believe.
How did that feel to like walk up to, this guy who's got the status and you're like, hey, I'm going to be on your team one day?
At first,
have that kind of confidence.
At first I didn't know he was like he's the one that scouts and recruits.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying he's the only one that does that, but that's he has a big job in that as well besides the rest of the executive team. But that's one thing I can say I got from my mom.
Yeah.
She when I was young, she was like, you're going to go talk to people. You got to go communicate with them. You go do it. You go do this.
Yeah.
She like I said, one of the things she never forced me to do was train. She always forced me to leave, but she I don't want to say forced, it sounds bad, but she wanted me to be better, and she taught me how to go up to people and communicate and ask for certain things, whether it can be as simple as, can I have a water?
Yeah.
But it taught me to have that self-confidence to go up independently without my mom or without anybody be like, hey, can I do this? Can I have that? Can I learn this?
Yeah.
So going up to Coach Chris honestly, I remember that moment. I had just finished fighting. I got third place at that battle, I remember. Yeah. And that's when my teammate Jake Presley was fighting in the same division as well.
Okay.
He got second, and we finished division, and I was walking out to go change, and I saw him, and I was like, I'm going to tell him.
Yeah, that's my moment right there.
Like I wasn't going to leave that tournament. I don't know why I waited to that tournament, but I think it was I just continued to build communication and rapport with him.
Yeah.
And that relationship. So then I told him, I was like, hey, coach, thank you for coming to my ring and watching me. Like, I appreciated you being there, and I want to be on your team.
Nice.
And that's what I told him. And sure enough, he told me, I like that. Let's keep that up. That's all he said. So I kept it up. And now going on 4 years, Christmas on Sunday will be my 4-year anniversary.
Wow.
Of Team Paul Mitchell.
That's
or being a member of Team Paul
Mitchell. That's
Mitchell.
fantastic. I love that. And you were talking about, with your mom, you don't want to use the word force, but I think that's needed. I think even a better word for that would probably be like pushed, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, she disciplined me too.
Disciplined too, right? And what I've noticed about you and what I really admire about you is now you have that push, that drive, that discipline for yourself as well, which at such a young age, like just as far as your training sessions, like your fitness, like you can tell by the way you carry yourself, you're very disciplined in your daily actions. So with that, I mean, when do you feel like you started to shift from, okay, now it's my mom really pushing me to have this, to now it's like, okay, now this is me. I'm going to have this accountability for myself. Like, when did you start to notice that shift and that change?
It's a great question. Like I said, I wouldn't say it's a age thing. It all goes based off. For me, martial arts has been, all my life, a huge part of my life. So that's been a lot of the stuff I go back to and I relate it to. But I would say once I started Team Paul Mitchell, I would say.
Yeah.
After I kind of realized, like, I would say my freshman year of high school, because from 8th grade I played basketball in middle school, right?
Okay.
And I have nothing against sports. Like, if I could, I would play basketball or football. That would be probably.
Dude, I wish I could play basketball.
Right.
I always get asked all the time, like, "Are you a basketball player?" I'm like, "No, it's because I'm tall, but dude, I can't play worth a crap."
Yeah, no, so I played basketball in 8th grade, and I was realizing then, because my mom has a business, so I was helping her teach classes, and I was starting to miss out. I wasn't able to teach some classes. I wasn't able to train some days just because I either had games. And like I said, nothing wrong with sports. That's just, one thing I chose to do in 8th grade. And then once I had that goal of JPM, my mom and I had a conversation in the car, and I remember her telling me, she said, do you want to be a professional basketball player, or do you want to chase Paul Mitchell? Right? Or she was like, do you want to chase basketball or football, or do you want to be on Paul Mitchell? And I said, I want to be on Paul Mitchell.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, well, you have a decision. You can continue to play sports. And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not undermining sports.
Yeah, you're not saying it's bad, but it just wasn't.
But the time, energy, and effort I put into basketball was lost time that I could be putting into martial arts.
Exactly.
And that's time that my competitors were putting in.
Yep.
So that's what I stay true to this day. Like, anything you do, if you want to be the best at something, you got to give it your all.
Yeah.
Right. You can't half-butt it, half-ass it, because somebody else that wants your spot is probably doing what you should be doing, and that's fully invested. Exactly.
Right.
Right. So once I had that conversation, I would say probably about 8th grade to freshman year of high school, I said, all right, I'm going to fully invest myself in martial arts.
Yeah.
So then that's when it started becoming, okay, how can I get this trick? How can I become better in sparring? How can I become better in my conditioning, my fitness?
So that was 8th grade you made that decision.
8th grade
right?
to freshman year, I would say.
And then you didn't actually get picked up by the team until when?
17.
17. So you're talking from
junior, senior.
All right. Yeah. So from 8th grade, so you're talking what, a 4 to 5 year span of time. So for 4 to 5 years, having to be extra disciplined, focus, hyper focus even on this goal. You don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know when you're actually going to achieve it, but you're just like not hoping, but you're just believing, right? You've got this strong belief in yourself and this strong confidence that, hey, this is going to happen. You're driving it every day. I was saying, like, you might have to pull.
And I was like, I feel like I'm going away from this.
We'll find out later when we go back and watch it. But to keep that focus and that discipline for 4 to 5 years for a goal that you're just believing that's going to happen. Like, you don't have any concrete evidence telling you it's going to, right? So I think that's what's missing a lot of times is we lose belief in ourselves. We have a struggle or a hurdle or an obstacle we have to overcome, or we have a setback. We let that affect the way that we view ourselves. We let that affect our confidence. We let that affect our belief. And what happens is when you do that, you don't take steps forward, you take steps back. Right?
Exactly.
So how do you maintain that super hyper focus in that, knowing that, hey, I'm going to accomplish this goal. It's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to make sure I bust my butt every day to get there. Was like, what is that drive like?
For me, I feel like Jackson, you know, because I'm here visiting and training Jackson.
Yeah, kicking his butt.
Yeah, kicking his butt, right? But
he just walked away.
Exactly.
He was standing right there.
But no, so I've always had this discipline in me already from my mom.
Yeah, of course.
And I would say it started. I was talking on the discipline part real quick. Because as a competitor, I would do forms, weapons, and sparring. Yeah. Right. And that's tough to do, right? Especially at a younger age, you might be like, oh, you just go do all those divisions, you'll be fine and compete. Yeah. But once I started getting at a higher level, it gets tougher, right? To be able to maintain that high level, whether it's just in your weapons, in your open hand forms, or your tricking, or even sparring, right? So they're all different ball games. So I've already had that discipline in me just to be able to, okay, I have one thing to do. I have to focus on this. All right, I got another thing. So as far as discipline and having that goal and maintaining that drive, I would say it's always finding that next thing to do, or within that big goal, have those small little ones to achieve. Yeah. Or have another big goal to chase after. Yeah. But whether I try and make them go hand in hand, and as far as getting on JPM, I know you got to be a top athlete, you got to be in shape. So I was like, let's make sure I'm in shape, make sure I look good, and then I feel good, and also with being in shape and. This is going to kind of go off topic, but going into the fitness industry, it kind of helped me. Yeah. All right. I would say helped me a lot. But I was going to say that Jackson calls me crazy sometimes. And even my personal trainer back home, his name's Justin. Shout out Justin Hunter. Got to go back 5 a.m., right? But he calls me crazy because the workouts, I say they're fun. Anything that's challenging, 2,000 meter row, that's fun. I got a big goal. All right, it's fun. Let's go. That's just my mentality. So I think it all goes back to my discipline instilled in me from my mom, and just me finding it fun. Not a lot of people can say.
I love that.
As much as yes, it hurts when I work out. Sometimes I love it. Dude,
I was hurting.
Yeah, I know. We were in the car and we got some breakfast, got some eggs and bacon, a little bit of waffles. Got the protein in and a little bit of carbs as well. But I told Jackson, I was like, Jackson, I'm feeling it right now, man. Like my shoulders, my triceps, I'm feeling it.
I was like dying up. I was like driving home. I didn't even want to pick up my arm. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, but like I said, I just find it fun. Yeah. I find it interesting. So,
I love that too, because even though, yes, we're talking about in the terms of martial arts and you being a competitor and an athlete, a lot of what you're saying applies to really any part of life, but even business as well. I mean, technically you are a business, right? Like you as a person, you are a business in what 100%. You do, and everything that you've done from 3 years old leading up to now has helped you build the successful business that you have now. I mean, you still work with people, you teach, you coach, you travel the world, right? You're an inspiration, you're a role model for a lot of people as well. So you've built up your own brand identity in that, as well as being this person that's disciplined, hardworking, powerful, explosive. Like you've built up that brand for yourself as well. So having the discipline to be able to maintain those daily habits, right? Stay consistent and continue chasing after that big goal. That's huge. So you were talking about how, you had the goal of being on JPM, right? But you even talked about how you have to have that next thing and that next thing and that next thing. So this was the goal for you. Boom, you achieved it, right? All right, I made it. I'm there. Okay. What was the next goal after that?
To be the best member on the team.
Okay.
And that's...
what does that look like?
Being consistent with wins. Okay. In the ring, but beyond the ring, it's being consistent outside of the ring. Continue to, have that good image, being a good role model and inspiration, doing anything that I can. I told the Coach Damon as soon as I got on the team, I said, like, I can't wait to be a part of it, and I'm gonna bring everything that I can. Yeah. And still to this day, like, we have a group chat and we hold everybody accountable, and it's like I just try and contribute anything that I can, everything that I can, and that next goal for me is to just make the team better, the best version that we can be. Because it's for me, I can't be selfish as far as, yes, I want to win, but I want everybody to win around me. Yeah. And I've told this, I'm pretty sure I've told Jackson, I've told my mom, like everybody that really knows me, and I've just told them my version of success is everybody succeeding around me.
I like that.
Like that's my end goal.
Why is that a drive for you?
Because I just like to help people. It's how am I gonna? Yes, I can help myself, but how is I gonna make the next generation better, or the world a better place, or whatever it is we want to do moving forward? How can that happen if everything that I have, like, I'm gonna leave this earth one day. Yeah. But if I can pass on my knowledge and keep it on here and let everybody pass it down and keep it going, like, why not? So.
Is martial arts the primary vehicle that you think you're gonna do that in, or is there a next step from that? Like, what's the next goal for you?
Yeah, no, I believe, and that's a great question, because yes, martial arts has been a huge part of my life, and I would love to continue to use that as my primary vehicle for inspiring and motivating and sharing my knowledge. But I love fitness, and we went to Orange Theory today. I'm a coach at Orange Theory. Been coaching there for about 3 years. Intern for about 1.5 years. And so I want to go into the fitness industry. Okay. I love the
what does that look like 3 years from now? Right, you're in the fitness industry. You're making an impact there. Paint the picture, like 3 years from now.
3 years from now, I see myself either. I love OTF, so if I can stick with OTF, that'd be fantastic. Yeah. Either running and owning a franchise with Orange Theory, or if I get an opportunity elsewhere, I just want to see myself coaching classes, being like, you ever see those pictures in, like, whether it's commercials or social media where you have like the coach like pushing the athlete. Like, I want to be that coach. I just find it fun. Like, I want to push people. I want to push them to find new limits. But I see myself in the fitness industry, whether it's owning. I would love to own and run some sort of fitness. A fitness operated studio or gym.
I love that. Yeah, that's awesome.
But like an OTF setting. I love commercial gyms, but I want to really be involved with the members, and
you want to actually be a part of that journey of helping.
Got to be in on the action.
Like, how cool is that though? I mean, obviously you've taught as an instructor, you're teaching as a coach. How cool is that? Helping somebody else realize what they're capable of.
Oh no!
I feel like that's one of the best things about being a coach is you can see the potential of somebody, you can see the future version of them, even if they can't see it themselves yet. So to be a part of that unlocking for them, helping them realize what they're capable of, and then they finally get it.
That's an ah moment. 100%. It's so. I take it back to martial arts, though. And martial arts is a very similar thing. When you have a student that, whether they're going for they're testing for their next stripe, or they're earning the next stripe or the next belt, or they unlock a front kick, a side kick, a new technique. Yeah. And you've seen them come in and day out in those classes, and you see them struggling. And then they finally get it. It's like high five moment. Aha, you really congratulate that student because you see them putting in the hard work. Yeah. And in the fitness industry, as far as my experience goes, like, I've seen where you can see a member, whether they come in 2-3 classes and you know that their PR is, let's just say, on their 100 meter, for example, today, I'll just use an example, is 20 seconds. It takes them 20 seconds for those 100 meters.
I did it in 17.
Yeah, 17. Bam, round of applause for Mr. Cameron. Yeah, right? So let's say it's always 20, 19, 20, and then that one day they come and they get 18. It's like, we conquered that. Now we got a new goal. Let's get it under 18, right? So having those moments is definitely one of my main inspirations or motivations, I would say.
I love that.
For either martial arts or it's coaching and fitness.
Awesome. And you're half of a power couple now, right? I
am.
Your girlfriend, she's also on the team, right? There you go.
Photoshop her.
She's also on the same team as you. You guys are teammates. Yeah. You're a power couple. You're pushing each other. I mean, what is that dynamic like?
No, it's really it's a blessing. Yeah. I always tell her, because I'm really I've grown in my faith, right? So, God has really blessed me with everything I have in my life. And I always tell her, obviously my mom's right. Mom, don't get mad, but besides you, Ma, you're always in my life. Besides you, right?
Mom was always going to be number one. She'll always be at the top.
But I always tell her, I'm like, babe, you're my greatest blessing. She really is, because she really helped me, and she still does, unlock my full potential. She pushes me, whether it can be in school because we're both in school. She goes to UF. She's going to graduate this upcoming spring. So
what's she majoring in?
I believe applied physiology and kinesiology, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, wow.
If I'm mistaken, yeah. She's hoping to graduate, or she should graduate in spring, and I think she can go into PT school. That's the next thing she's going to go into, and I'll be going into fitness, so it kind of goes hand in hand, right?
What are you majoring in?
Communications, which is completely outside of, And I was like, I've had questions, why communications? And because a little backstory before I continue is I was going to major in business and minor in marketing.
Don't do it.
I didn't. I didn't.
Good.
I was going to do it, but then I said, in business, I have mentors. I have people. Shout out to my man, Aaron Hensley, right? Rise.
Literally in the other office.
Yeah, he's right now, right? So I have networks and relationships that I could go to for that.
Yeah.
And I could learn a lot more than 4 years in school. So
I remember I went to school for business administration. I remember while I'm sitting there in the class, I literally texted Aaron. I'm like, dude, I'm not learning anything here.
Yeah.
Like, this is so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I ended up dropping out because I was like, you know what? I'm going to learn more actually being by someone who's building an empire, building a business. I'm going to learn a lot more working with somebody like that than I am sitting here in this class. And again, like nothing against college. Like for some careers, you need it. Yeah. Right. But for what we were going to do and what I was going towards, it wasn't the right fit for me.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And no, so I was going to do business and marketing, and then I decided to change to business and kinesiology. But then I was like, I can't really be doing business. Like, I'm not saying can't, but it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I was like, I can learn this. Yeah. So I decided to go. I was like, well, I had a conversation with my mom. She's like, what are you going to do? I was like, well, I talked to a lot of people. I was like, communicate, I guess. Communications. Like,
there you go.
There's a broad spectrum with that. So, and like I said, it's for me, my degree is just going to be a backup if I ever need it. But I'm going to be majoring in communications, and I dropped my minor in kinesiology because I'm already doing that at Orange Theory. Yeah. At Orange Theory, we got to be certified, we're constantly having to recertify or having to get continuing education.
Just had to retake a test too to recertify.
I got to do that one. It's called the OT Fit. My boss is mad at me right now. Don't worry, Mike. I'll finish it. I'll get it done. But no, so we're constantly learning, and I have also people in the fitness industry that I can go to learn. So, so communications, and that's all I'm going for, and I should graduate hopefully in the next year. If it's not the next year, and next spring, like I said, my main focus is just trying to grow myself, grow my wealth, and help anybody that I can. But back to the other half of the power couple. She's killing it. She's at UF. She graduates in spring, and like I mentioned, she's my greatest blessing because having that dynamic of somebody that understands what you do as well in the martial arts and just in life is something that it's way more than I could ever ask for. So she's definitely been a huge part of my life. And the crazy thing is, maybe a lot of people know now. I'm not sure. I wouldn't think so. But I've known her since I was 13 and she was 12. Okay. We met at a martial arts tournament. Wow. At AmeriKick Internationals 2016. And we instantly were like the best of friends. That's instantly awesome. Like the best of friends, which I think is another great thing about our relationship. She's my best friend. So after that, we started, I guess, flirting here and there between the years. And
start off best friends, you're like, I kind of like this.
Yeah. Come on. No. And then 2021, after U.S. Open, actually, it became official like a whistle.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Man, I love it. So last thing here, if you could go back, give little 10-year-old Alex some advice.
Oh, man.
Knowing what you know now, knowing the opportunity.
I don't know if he'd listen.
If you could go back to that 10-year-old kid, what would you tell him? What would be one piece of advice you would give him to hold on to?
I would tell my 10-year-old self to, as hard as it may get, to continue to push forward. And this was a big thing about me that I've changed and I've tried to, and I have my moments. Just don't wait. Don't procrastinate. Yeah. I was a big procrastinator in school.
Take action fast.
Yeah. It's a big, and I'm going to be honest, I still am for college stuff. It's not the greatest thing, but don't procrastinate. Just get it done. Yeah. Because there's been moments where I was like, man, if I would have done that sooner, whether my day would have been easier or I would have, I don't know. Just the point is, just get it done. Yeah. So I would have told my 10-year-old self to get it done. Don't forget that that there's fun in what you're doing. And shout out to Aaron Hensley next door. There's joy in hard work. Yeah. There's always joy in what you do. So keep pushing. Stay motivated. Find the next goal, and don't procrastinate. And don't be afraid is because I was as confident as I also was a little bit shy or afraid to ask for help around me sometimes. Because I was like, no, I got it. But there's nothing wrong with asking for help. And if they don't want to help you out, go on to the next person. It's fine. Like, this is what I've always told. Also, my mom instilled this in me recently. She's like, what's the worst they can tell you? No, move on.
Yeah.
So, stay motivated, work hard, don't procrastinate, get it done.
Awesome, man. Hey, where's the best place people can find you, follow you, and
social media shout out.
There you go.
On Instagram, it's at the Alex Mancillas. I'm not just Alex. I'm the Alex Mancillas. And the way you spell my last name, Mancillas. It's gonna be a funny reference, but like tortilla, Mancillas, the same thing. Same way you spell tortilla. But anyways, at the Alex Mancillas on Instagram, Alex Mancillas on Facebook. Yes, and also I have some videos on YouTube. You can look me up.
Awesome, man. Mm-hmm. Well, hey, thanks again for being a part of this. Loved it. You guys go follow him, and we'll see you next time.
Bang, bang, bang.